My name is Tab Hunter, Safety Harbor, Florida. I'm going to prepare to do some shoulders. I'm training kind of light right now, and hopefully I won't pull anything. The reason I started training and got into weightlifting was because growing up as a kid, I was graduating high school at a buck 28, and sometimes I was, because I had, you wouldn't tell it now, but I had long hair, braids, so I get, from behind I had the little small waist, and I would get whistled at. Guys would think I was a girl. So kind of got tired of that, so started hitting the gym, and as I packed on the weight, my symmetry started to take off, and guys were like, you know, why don't you compete, why don't you compete, why don't you compete? And I was like, nah, nah, nah. For years I said no, no, no. And finally I got an idea in my head to do the Junior Florida. That was going to be my first show when they still had the Junior Florida. And I was prepping for the Junior Florida, and before the Junior Florida was the Tampa Bay Classic. It was the 10th anniversary of the Tampa Bay Classic at Busch Gardens. Yeah, at Busch Gardens. So I did the Tampa Bay Classic 2 weeks out from the Junior Florida. I was a middleweight. The middleweight ended up winning my class, winning the overall at Tampa Bay Classic. And back then it was, everybody was competing. Robert Habib, Dexter Jackson, which I later met Dexter at other shows, but in that show I happened to beat Robert Habib. Bobby, yeah. Tim Gardner was competing. I don't know if he was competing in that show. I competed in shows with Tim, never in the same weight class. To me fading out, so I'm just gonna need like a little bit, just a little. Just keep me moving to the top. And a couple of years later, and well, actually 2 weeks later, I went ahead and I did the Junior Florida, ended up winning that, and then from there I came up in weight. I came up in weight from middleweight. I went up to a light heavy with the help of Joe McNeil. Joe McNeil trained me for my first light heavy show, which was the Southeastern USA, and 96, 97, something like that. Ended up going to that. I won my place as a light heavy, won the overall. From that I think I did the Southern States, and that's when I got really intimidated. There I met Tony Freeman, Dexter Jackson. We just watched them on the Olympia. Troy Alves, all those guys were down there. And I totally bombed. I think I placed like 5th or 6th place at the Southern States. Because all these guys were just like, and actually Dexter was a middleweight. Tony was a heavyweight. And Troy was in my class, a light heavy. Troy Alves was a light heavy. And I placed like 4th or 5th. Troy placed like 3rd or 2nd, I think Troy did. And Dexter, of course, won his class. Tony, I forget what Tony placed. These are going to be like a superset. I do start with like 45. Well, today I'm going to start actually lighter. I'm going to start with 35s today, then the 30s, and then the 25s. They're supposed to be supersets, but as I go on, I tend to take a little bit more time in between sets because I'll get tired. You'll see when I do my motion, it's kind of an odd motion. I kind of go back with it, and that's to hit the rear delt. I concentrate a lot on the rear delts because that muscle is so hard to build. So you gotta concentrate on hitting it. But years later, I did the Florida, and again it was Dexter Jackson, Tony Freeman, Troy, and a few others that are now like the top pros in bodybuilding. And just to say that, it's just like, that's pretty much saying something big, because just to be on the same stage as those guys, knowing who they are now, and we were all on the circuit doing well for ourselves. And I had to take off from the circuit for about 6 years. My dad fell ill, and that 5.5, 6 years I took off to take care of him. So I kind of like fell to the wayside. And so the early 2000s, 2003 I think it was, like actually 2002 my father passed, and then the following year I got back into it, and I did I think the first outing I did was the Southern States. I won my weight class in the heavies, and went to the Nationals. Didn't do well at the Nationals, and that's right. I did. Oh, that was before Dad passed. That was like in 98, 99. So I was still in the 1990s, and didn't do that well either. You know, when you go to the Nationals and you go to the anything like the USA's, you have to be spot on. And I think every time I go to a national event, I don't think I'm spot on. I think I'm missing something in my nutritional part of it. Probably something in my diet, something in my vitamin intake. I'm not taking too much of something else. So that's why I just 4.5, almost 5 weeks ago, just competed in the Florida. Won the heavyweights in the Florida. Okay. Again, we're going to do a motion, some rear delts for try to hit that rear delt. I have to find out what part of this dialing in that I'm missing, and I may look into getting a trainer. I'm not sure yet. I'm old school. I've done it always. I've done it by myself. So this is to someone else, I'd probably be a little bit hard-headed. But then again, it may be a relief off me, because it's all on them now. If I give them all my effort and do what they tell me to do, I'm expecting to be at my best. So it would be all on their part, how I look. Because as far as training in the gym, this is the easy part of it. I don't mind training. Like when I trained when Joe trained me, whatever he told me, I just did it. It was no, this made me feel like this made me feel like that. Whatever he told me to do, I just did it. And that was probably one of my best outcomes when Joe trained me. And Joe's a good trainer. He's well knowledged, and he sees things that others can't. As far as my diet intake, as far as food goes, I pretty much eat the same food contest and off season. The only difference is I cut out the little bit of oils that I use, or the butters. But as far as the food, it's the same: potatoes, rice, chicken. I do eat some pork, and lately, actually on this, so when I dieted for this show, I threw in a lot more fish. I would hit a pose for you, but I don't think I could. So I can barely put my hands on my hips. Yeah. Even though I'm training light right now, the intensity is, I try to keep the intensity in the workout, because the main purpose of even working out is to try to stimulate the muscle. So you have to compensate. Even though you're training light, you have to try to make it seem like a challenge to the muscle, so the intensity still got to be there. But this time I incorporated a couple more meals in my diet. I ate a lot more fish, ate a lot more chicken, and actually I stayed fuller, longer up to the show. Usually 2 weeks out from the show, I'm struggling to maintain 220, and then I'll probably weigh in at the show at like 214, 215, 216. Well, this year because of the extra meals, and I was able to stay 229 a week out from the show, and weighed in at 220. So that was kind of big for me. Hey, no. I was close to failure. Just to make it interesting, I'm gonna do a drop set. I'll do this weight for 10. I'll drop it. Do another weight for 10. Drop it. Do another weight for 10. I do have some junk days in there where some Saturdays I'll eat Wendy's, get a double burger meal, no cheese, and I'll eat that. But still, even though I eat that, that doesn't hurt me because it carries a lot of calories, but it doesn't it's not meat and potatoes like you need to sustain a hard, full, dense body. So that doesn't really hurt me. That burns. Let's do one more. That burns. Jeez. I'm gonna do a couple sets of shrugs, some light shrugs, finish off the shoulders, and hopefully these won't hurt me. I open up my workout during the week with my legs. My legs visually are pretty much a weak part of my whole physique. So on Monday, when you're your freshest, when I'm my freshest, I come in and I just try to destroy quads. I come in, I just do quads, I just do quads and calves. And I don't do hamstrings with my quads because my hamstrings take about 40 minutes alone. My quads take about an hour and 10 minutes. So I'll do a big quad workout, try to just blow them out, and then I'll do calves with the quads because calves are already warmed up since you're actually stimulating your calves in your quad workout. So I do quads and calves on Monday. I come back the next day, Tuesday. I do bis and tris. I'll do back on Wednesday. Do a pulling motion. It takes me about an hour and 15 minutes to do back. Another hour to do biceps. That wouldn't work for me. So I do bis and tris Tuesday. I do back separately, just back on Wednesday. I do hamstrings and shoulders on Thursday, and sometimes on and Friday I'll do a chest, and again with calves. I do calves on Monday and Friday. I do abs. Usually, it all depends on what time I get done, or if I have the energy to do abs on Monday, and again I'll do them on Friday. All right. So one more set and that's it. Light, very light, quick. Shoulder workout. Actually, I'm going lighter than I usually go. The boss is here. She always gets on me about training heavy. Saturdays and Sundays I try to take off, even though some Saturdays I'll sneak off to the gym and I'll do something. But usually those are my rest days. Because I'm not a, when I'm in the gym, I'm usually in there for like no less than 2 hours in the gym. Some guys are in there a lot less, and I'm just not one of those guys to hit body part in a half an hour. I need a little bit more to break it down. I've tried that quick workout, and it just seems like my body is wanting just a little bit more to finish it up. So that's typically what I do. As far as nutrition and the training, nutrition has to be spot on, and especially if you're in the gym for those amount of hours. And to counter the meal that I miss because I'm in the gym for so long, I have a personal blender with a protein drink, and that I keep in the car with me. So right after the gym, I'm out to the car in my trunk. I'll make up a protein shake before I get home, and then after I go home, shower, and I'll eat again, making up the 5th or 6th meal of the day. Nope. Nice try though. Still can't do a double bicep. Hopefully I'll bring up some of my weak areas, and if I can't bring them up, maybe I can bring them up just enough to hide them and pose them in ways to look like they're eye pleasing to the judges. Hopefully I'll do well.